Greetings and welcome once again on the Gambia Football Federation Facebook platform, where we are serializing on the updates on the Gambia Football Federation, giving you developments regarding the growth and development of football. And today, today's Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Tuesday, the 21st of June 2022. We are back again at the football house here in the Canifing, and today we are going to look at our finance department. Our finance department, we are going to have a discussion on the GFF Finances, and with me on that aspect is the finance manager, my very good brother and friend Ismaila Njai. Ismaila and I have crossed paths since the normalization period. And up to today, he's been with us as manager of GFF Finance Department. And Ismaila, today we will be delving into the GFF Finance. And when we talk about finance, I want us to give it a segment, the FIFA funds, how our FIFA funds are being spent, the installments from January to July, July to December. You know, all of us are now becoming gurus as far as this FIFA funding is concerned, and how these funds are being spent. I want us to be looking at that. Operational budgets, the budget lines, and the exchange rate with the banks. You know, we also try to look at the expenses we do at our domestic competition. For example, the league, those things are important. The support to the regions as well, and also our budget lines. These are the areas I want us to delve into. But first of all, let me welcome you to the program. You are not a first timer on this program, but recently we can welcome you as a newcomer into this serialized program on our platform. It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be on your platform today.
Thank you.
It's been my first time. No first time on such a program.
Yes.
Yes. For that of the GFF, it's been my first time.
Yes.
And I'm very happy to be associated with the program, you know, especially when we are here to discuss about our finances.
Exactly.
I think first of all, I would like to start with the GFF Finance Department, the structure of the GFF Finance Department.
The department?
Yes.
Okay.
First, if you know the governance, there's a governance body of the GFF.
Yes.
And the first vice president served as the head of finance and admin.
The first vice president is Bakari Kijami.
Yes. Served as the finance admin, head of finance admin. And equally, he heads the finance subcommittee. And then rolling it down to administratively, the finance unit is being headed by the finance director. Kemosise,
yeah.
Then I deputized him, then subsequently by the finance officers and then the finance admin officers in the various region. So now, just to go quick to
the FIFA fund.
The FIFA fund.
Yes.
First, I think we need to understand that GFF, like any other institutions,
yes,
has an operational budget. And our operational budget is being break down, you know, in the various sectors of the GFF. That is competition, technical, youth and grassroots, women, operational costs, which includes governance and just to name few.
Yes.
Because on the operational budget itself, it has 10 demarcations.
On the operational budget?
On the operational budget.
10 demarcations?
10 demarcations.
Okay.
And these 10 demarcations...
You want us to talk about all the 10 demarcations?
No, I think for today, we will just give a preamble.
Yes, since it's a serialized
then gradually we will go in depth.
Yes, yes.
In depth.
Just give us a surface understanding
of
like
if you go to on the operational, let me just be specific. That is where you have the governance.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You have the planning and permanent. That's where it takes care of the personnel costs. costs,
Okay.
overheads.
Overheads.
You understand?
Exactly.
Then you have the national team, the women, you know, the youth league.
Those are the most difficult
exactly.
areas.
So you see, the operational area alone contains these 10. Then you know, then you have another component, which is the travel support national team.
Okay.
And this is important for us to understand the FIFA 4. The FIFA 4 has, you know, transited from FAR, which was Financial Assistance Program before,
exactly,
and then it was transformed to Forward in the 2016. It first phase has gone, that was 2016 to 2018. Then we are now in the second phase, which is 2019 to 2022.
Okay.
So you can see the 0.20.
Yes.
Yes, the second phase will be completed by year 2022. Yeah.
That's this year.
That's this year.
Okay.
And in this, we have what they have provided, that their own guidelines in this particular book. But because we don't have much time, just for people to see this, the guidelines.
So anybody can access
anybody can access this. You can get it on the FIFA website. You know, and even if you come to the GFF, if you ask for a copy, we can give it to you.
Yeah, whenever I come to your desk, I always find this thing. You take this thing as a Bible now.
This is my guiding principle.
Yes.
Because this, I have to live with this.
So because you go by this. This is your guidance.
This is our guidance.
Okay.
Because this shows you the regulations of how to utilize the FIFA funds.
We can't go by. We can't go outside of this.
If you cannot go by outside that, I'll give you an example.
Yes.
If you look at initially the FAR, it was not then audited by FIFA auditors.
Okay.
It was then audited by GFF desired external auditors.
External auditors.
So the same external auditor who was doing your statutory audit would have been doing the donor audit.
That's the FAR audit.
During the FAR, those days.
Yes.
But of this new, forward, that is now where the changes have come.
And it is inserted in the regulation.
Yes, and this is where FIFA themselves will come down, send in their own auditors, identify their own auditors, and their own auditors will come on yearly basis to review from zero balance of the year to the end balance zero in one single account. Their money is not mixed with any other account.
Wow. So I see that all of us at the office see that when FIFA auditors come, the people are always on this.
Exactly. Because if you look at it,
but you have been credited for excellent performance.
I think I will give the credit back to my colleagues in my department.
Yes.
They've been very hardworking, very, focused.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So now you will see that one of the requirements for FIFA, accessing FIFA funds, is you must have a separate account.
Separate account?
A separate account.
Okay.
Both in foreign currency, where the remittance will come in, and your local currency.
Okay. Before we come to the local currency and the separate account, when does these funds come to our access? Okay.
What Gambia is entitled of is the operational support of 1 million. But this 1 million is being divided into two parts. The first part of it is two installments.
Yes.
The first installment is received in January.
That's the beginning of the year.
Yeah, beginning of the year around the 15th of January.
Okay.
And the second installment will also come on in July around the 15th. But the second installment will be received after you meet. Their own auditors are here.
Yes.
They satisfy themselves.
Yes.
You don't have any serious query, which could lead to your suspension. And equally, you have to submit your statutory audit
to them.
To them. That is now which is done by our external auditors.
And they satisfy themselves with that.
Exactly.
And send you the second part of the installment.
Exactly. This both audit will be submitted to FIFA. And the committee responsible now will review the outcome of both audits before they will give approval for your next disbursement.
Disbursement.
Yeah.
Wow. This is not small easy thing.
It's not easy.
Okay.
You miss the deadline.
Yes.
You miss the phone.
Very good. Very good.
And
So,
you go against the rules, you are suspended.
suspension?
Yes. They will suspend for they suspend you by not sending you the phone.
Yeah, so could that be the reason why you people become so meticulous about receipt, invoice, do this back and forth? Why do you go to that extent?
And this is why this is why everything has to be on evidence based.
Okay.
And equally, this is why no single person can just authorize a request. I'll give you an example. Yeah, not a single person. I'll give you an example like in your own department.
Yes.
Your director, all the requests coming from the department has to pass through the director. You have to ascertain that he has seen the requests, and then it will go down to the compliance department. Then the compliance department will look at.
The compliance department will review.
Yes. All the supporting documents.
Whether it is in compliance with
what FIFA requires.
Okay. Compliance is somehow
like
internal auditor.
Yeah. Internal auditor.
Yeah.
If he has any observation, he flags it back. So from
I understand your point.
Yes.
So they can't come back and forth.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's why you see people going back and from the city council office. Yes. And then after the compliance is certified,
yes,
then he endorses it, and then it comes to finance. And when it comes to finance now, finance have to look at what area of the program is the fund coming from.
Okay. For example, the budget line. Or
the budget line.
Yeah.
Whether planning and admin, whether women football, whether youth football, communication, marketing and communication.
Okay.
So this is what finance will look at it, and also will go back to re-verify the supporting document.
That is where we
exactly. That's why then we go now with the finance director, who will now also ascertain before approval of that particular request by the general secretary.
Perfect.
And then you come back again to start raising checks for payment and the vouchers, which will also go through the same process. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now so all these things are in place.
Yes,
now the fund is here. The fund is here.
Right.
How do we spend the fund?
For example, before
where are the funds being disposed of?
For example, before the arrival of the fund, one, there must be a dollar account.
A dollar account.
Yes, and in this dollar account, the name of forward has to be indicated, and the bank has to satisfy that this particular account is being opened only for FIFA funds.
Only for FIFA funds.
Yes. So what we do now, like example now, what Gambia Football Federation will do now is, when we receive our first, subvention from FIFA in January, we will look at our planned activity, of which a cash flow is developed, and then we will now look at the required cash based on that cash flow.
Yes.
And now we will go and now negotiate with the bank. But first you have to establish what's the exchange rate in the market of the central bank of the Gambia, not any other bank.
Of the central bank? Of
the Gambia. Because remember, the central bank has a website.
Yes, they have a website. They are the superior bank.
Exactly. And they will give the bank a margin. And within this margin, that is where now we negotiate.
Negotiate with who?
With the bank.
Or with the bank?
Yes. Okay. For the exchange rate. It's not like you taking the hard currency, go to the black market and change. No, FIFA don't accept that.
Okay. So it's negotiation.
You have to negotiate. We negotiate with the bank based on central bank prevailing market.
Exactly.
And we try to go above within the range, because the bank also will have obviously benefit in the exchange gains.
Certainly.
And we also will try to get benefit from that exchange gain, and then we'll send an instruction instructing the bank to move that dollar value to Dalasi, to our Dalasi FIFA account. There will also be a FIFA Dalasi account,
which is different from the dollar account.
Exactly. And this is spelled clearly.
Okay.
One, we indicate it is coming from GFF FIFA forward dollar account to GFF FIFA forward dollar account. At this rate, the rate is specified. These are all in the archives. Because if the FIFA auditor comes, he goes through the audit trail where he will depict his own evidence from the prevailing rate to the central bank to establish whether GFF was able to do the needful.
That brings me back to the COVID fund then.
Yeah.
You are talking about the rate and
exactly.
Yes, you are right. You are right.
Exactly.
I can remember now.
Exactly. So basically, this is how we now get the dollar to Dallas. And then we start disposing.
Yes.
And if you look at it equally, you realize now we are now drawing limited checks because FIFA is trying to implement 0% of cash disbursement. And this is why you see we are, we are transferring.
Explain that more. 0% of cash disbursement.
When you dispose
liquid cash.
Yeah. No, when you dispose check,
it
is classified as cash payment in accounting.
Cash payment.
Yes. And all those things can be transferable.
Yes.
Like example, I have a team called Mayok FC.
Or Nema FC.
Yeah, or Nema FC. I am the president of Nema FC.
Yes.
You have given me the check.
Yes.
I go to the bank, I stamp Nema FC stamp, I say pay to bearer, transferring the ownership. This is why that aspect of the check, we are trying to eliminate it and now try to deal by paying directly to the supplier's account. And this is why you see clubs are being encouraged to open bank accounts, and this is why now their weekly transport support are sent, their preparation support are also sent directly to the bank account. Equally, even now personnel that are traveling, we hardly give them check. We will give check only when it is serious emergency. Situation like example like the national team. We have challenges in that area, but gradually we are working with the team manager and the head of the first vice president to ensure gradually the national team will be encouraged to supply us with their bank accounts, so that the issue of traveling with cash will be very minimal. Because remember, our role in the finance department is to introduce tools that will minimize risks.
Perfect.
And the more you change cash in hand, risk is high, and this is what we are trying to do.
So these budget lines that you briefly delve into, how do you control them? Controls.
Remember, one is we have a master budget. The master budget is what is being approved from the AGM.
Yes.
Where all members agree.
So we go by the master budget.
Yes, we try to go by the master budget. The reason why I'm saying we try to go by the master budget, because you have made certain projections during the AGM.
Yes.
Probably you are unable to attain those forecasts in terms of income. So rationally, we have to be careful not to also just close our eyes and directly spend whatever we have because it is being approved by the AGM. No. We have to be, concerned with, what we are able to raise in that point in time. Remember, our master budget include expected funds from FIFA, expected funds from CAF, local income to be generated.
Which is very minimal.
Local income is very, very minimal. Sometimes, during the COVID, we say it was almost zero. It is just of recent. We can say, okay, we got gate takings when we went to Senegal. We was on a recovery base. You understand? So these are areas that we also, as the finance department, we have to advise the executive through the finance committee. And this is why time to time we have finance committee meetings, so that the director will update the finance committee that this is what is available, this is the situation that we are currently. And this is why you see sometimes activities will be brought, we look at and say, no, at this point in time, this particular activity cannot be conducted. It's not like it's a blank check. We have to look at it. And at the same time, we have to meet the requirement of FIFA.
Okay.
Now let me just give you, like, for example, Gambia, like I said, entitled for 1 million plus $200,000. That is 1.2 million. How do we receive this 1.2 million? Yes. January, you receive $700,000. In January. The 700 for a period of 6 months to June. You understand? And in this January, they normally send us, they send us the 700,000 because they give us the 500, which is part of the operational cost, and 200,000 for support for travels of national team. So you see, we only have $200,000 to support national team travels, which is not actually even enough if we want to talk about the 18.
It's not even close to a quarter of our budget for
gradually, maybe, I mean, gradually, as I know, I'm seeing the ministry is trying to, come to support. Gradually, that will, lifting
kilos to government.
Yes, government are doing very well. Absolutely. To be honest, we have to. If you look at when they started, and now where they are, gradually, their support is increasing.
Yes.
But that have not stopped GFF. GFF is also still paying part of the national team expenses.
Yes.
It's not like government have taken
everything
in totality, 100%.
GFF is also doing
exactly. GFF also is taking its part as part of the national team.
So support to national teams is a huge responsibility.
In fact, it takes the jump part of our funding.
Support to national teams.
BB. Yeah. National team A alone, minimum $10 million. Now you only have $200,000. If you take it on average, even 55, you're talking about 11 million. So if national team A alone minimum consume 10 million, what are you going to now use to spend on other national teams? The women is down there,
of course,
with their A team, their B team, and their C team. Yeah. You came to men, exclude the senior team. You have, the Chan, the under 20, the under 17. Yeah. This
all categories.
All categories, including their technicians.
Sure.
Including their technicians.
Sure. It's in totality.
Exactly. Because remember, these technicians, their salary is an expatriate base.
I know a little bit of it because
and we want, when you say expatriate, what it means in terms of overheads.
Yes, absolutely.
So you can see that even the GFF league is an overhead. It's a fixed overhead for me.
We are coming to that. I don't want to preempt my areas of
so now just to dilate a bit on this operational cost.
Yes.
Now you have 10 areas of intervention.
Yes.
Under the operational cost, which is $50,000 for each area. How much?
50 for each area.
For each area. Yes. This is why you have $1 million. This is the way it is being broken down. Now, let's say for example,
FIFA are so meticulous.
No, FIFA is not funding. FIFA is supplementing. This needs to be clear for stakeholders to understand. FIFA is not funding. FIFA is supplementing. And this is why every stakeholder is the responsibility of every stakeholder.
Yes.
Us being staff, the governance,
outsiders,
the external stakeholders should all come together and try to support football funding.
So,
like for example, let me give you an example.
Yes.
If our national league has a total budget of $15 million, when now you only have $50,000 for male league, $50,000 for female league.
100,000.
100,000. 100,000 is how much?
Yeah.
Even if you have the highest rate, let me take the highest indicator.
Yeah.
That is $60 times $100,000. How much are you talking about?
That's true.
Now, where is the funding gap coming from? Where is the GFF going to address the funding gap?
Yes.
These are the constraints that GFF is faced with 24/7 round the clock. 366 days, not 365 days, but 366 days for whole leap year.
Absolutely.
This is what GFF, this, especially us in the finance, this is the nightmare we goes through. We come on depositing people.
When we come
That's
to
why I
finance,
said when we go in, because I mean,
I don't want us to go into detail.
We will gradually go in detail where
since it's a serialized
exactly. But it's important that
we'll be back again.
Yeah.
With what we are dealing today. We will not be bringing it back again. We will go into some other aspects in our next serialized episode.
Exactly.
One of the areas also is the leak. You just briefly touched on it. Leak expenses. Yesterday I was with the Director of Competitions, Blanco Joe, and he nearly shed tears about the leak expenses, the challenges and all that stuff. And of course the GFF Finance, we are very, very particular about leak expenses. On a daily basis, we see members from the competitions department going up to the finance department, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What is happening as far as leak expenses is concerned?
Yeah, because if you are within GFF, you wouldn't even take the leak expense to be part of recurrent. I always argue with these people. I say, the leak expense of GFF is not recurrent expenditure to me. It's a capital expenditure because it's one of the heaviest, apart from the national team A expenditure and other national team. The leak expense is one of the most heaviest consumption of our budget. Let me give you an example. If women...
The consumption is weekly or daily?
I'm going to give you now,
yes,
just a snapshot for a week. And then you try to multiply by the number of weeks we play.
Don't make me wrong.
No, I'm not going to make you wrong. This is excluding referees indemnity.
Yes.
Only the direct match expense.
Expenses, yes.
On the ground, for a week, it takes us $150,000.
Every week?
Every week. Which includes refreshment for the referees, payment to match commissioners,
coordinator,
ground coordinators, security, medics,
ball boys. I know,
exactly.
I'm a coordinator myself.
Exactly. So you put these weeks together, it gives you on average $150,000. Sometimes it could be more than that. Because when you have more matches,
yes,
you need more security.
Of course, of course.
Security consumes a lot. It's not free. GFF League, there's nothing that you get free.
No, no.
There's nothing that you get free in the GFF League. Now, in addition to that, transport support.
Transport support to clubs.
Clubs. Women league clubs for every 2 weeks is $208,000. These are facts, figures, they are there.
They're there.
They go direct to women's club. Men league per week, between 132 to 165.
Staggering number.
Exactly. Now 160 plus 208,000. So weekly, you're talking about almost $500,000. How are we? Where are we going to get? Of course. David, you see, when you start out of football, you think it's very cheap. It's not.
It's very expensive.
More than what expensive.
It's very expensive. Let me give you an anecdote. The friend said anecdote.
Okay.
There was a former colleague who once told me, we were into a program, a very heavy program, some time back. And at one point we sat down chatting and he said to me, you know, Bibi, if you don't come to GFF, you don't understand Gambian football.
Exactly.
So that relates to your point. When you are outside, you think
it's different.
Cheap.
It's different.
But when you come inside, you know that it is very, very expensive.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you.
Can we go to support the regions?
You see, what we got from FIFA
yes,
does not fund the GFF budget 100%.
It cannot.
No. It's always approximately 60% of what is required to meet our operational demand. Because CAF support comes only once in a year.
Yeah. Only once in a year.
And normally it comes around August, July,
The middle of the
when
year.
already we are completely stretched.
That's the time I used to see.
So working at GFF is real cash flow management. Real cash flow management.
Especially the finance.
Yeah. We have to be the ugly guy.
Yes.
You know, we have to be the ugly guy.
You have to be fighting.
You know, I use this platform to apologize. Sometimes people think that, you know, we don't want to be reasonable.
Yes.
But that's the challenge.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
the
has
challenge.
not approved it.
Exactly.
Just said no.
Exactly.
It's a return to us.
Exactly. Or GFF will approve. We say, I'm sorry, we cannot
So
pay.
there's no money.
You know, all is about safeguarding to ensure we're able to do our core activities within that period until when we're able to have something else. So this what this.
But
The
the league expenses, the competition is core.
Core.
It's core.
It's core.
I can see.
It's primary.
It's primary.
It's
You
primary.
You don't give it any joke.
We cannot compromise with the league. It's our core activity.
Yeah.
That defines GFF.
Mm-hmm.
That defines GFF.
Sure. So can we now go to support to the regions that are affiliated to us?
Thank you very much.
Yes, very important.
Support to
They are
regions.
sink one norm in our football development.
Obviously,
Yes.
support to regions is equally like to clubs. Twice in a year.
Mm-hmm.
For SAF,
Yes.
when we are giving clubs, we give them their support. Second half, when we are giving clubs, we give them their support. But regions have to support.
Yes.
That is operational,
Mm-hmm.
for their operational activity,
Yes.
and also for their program, their league. The way FIFA supplement us,
Yes.
we also supplement.
Similarly.
Yes.
Yes.
I always, sometimes I always teach people. They come to my office, they say, no, this is the budget approved. I said, yes, but I'm sorry, we have not raised what was also projected as approved.
Yes.
It's like, you know, coaches will say, you go back to the drawing board. The reason why we go back to the drawing board because we are not able to raise what we expected.
Okay. That is for the regions to understand.
Exactly. For the regions to understand, it's not like, you know, we are depriving the region.
They cannot.
How can you deprive yourself?
We created the regions. They are just an affiliate of us.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
why I
so
said.
we can't deprive.
That's why I said, how can you deprive the region? The region are responsible for the development of the grassroots.
Sure.
So for me, it wouldn't make sense
Mm-hmm.
if funds are lying down there and available and cannot be given to regions. No.
So the regions, they also come with their budget.
The regions come with their budget. They also have their plans like the GFF. Is incorporated in our activity.
Their budgets are planned, you know, according to the subventions that will be given to them.
Exactly.
You know, based on that.
Exactly.
So they too can't exceed.
Bibi, let me ask this question.
Yes.
What happened if we expecting 100% from government for national team,
Yes.
and unfortunately we do not have it?
Government can't do all.
Can we just ignore the national team not to participate? So you see, this is where rational decision taking comes in. Remember, we are partners with government. We are not in competition with government.
No, we can't be. We can't be.
Government is us, we are government.
Yes.
People need to understand that. And we don't have to be blaming government that government is not giving us funding. No, we need to encourage them. And this is why, believe me or not, you know, as of now, I can give 100%
That is what the executive is doing.
Exactly.
The National Sports
Exactly.
Council, the Ministry
Exactly.
of Youth and Sports, you know. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because they are the arms of government.
We keep on, you know, communicating, we keep on controlling each other.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But can we always open up and say that, okay, government cannot give us all the 100%, we go on air and do it? No.
So apart from our support to the regions, do the regions also have somewhere where they can tap support and funding somewhere else, quite apart from what we are giving them?
You see, as of now, the regions are also constrained as the GFF.
Similarly,
Remember, it's a package.
Yes.
Who owns the package? Football owns the package. If that package is not being sellable, what is the region going to have?
Okay. I see your point.
You understand?
I see your point.
Moreover, if you look at most of our commercial sector,
Yes.
what is their percentage of dividend at the end of the year, profit that they have.
Yeah.
Because remember, when these commercial sectors really grow to a height, they could have used part of it as part of their corporate social responsibility or to advertisements here and there to support football. Baby, even health, Ministry of Health, they could support football because sports, especially football, goes down to reduce health hazardous issues. These are all areas that we are still trying to partner. But you know, if you go to Ministry of Health, they have their own problem. Yes.
Big problem.
How can they put us?
It's a big one. It's a big one. Ismail, I want us to you know, to come down because I know you have another engagement at your office. But before we wrap up, there is one thing very interesting, and I want us to educate us about that. That is this software accounting system, you know, which you use to put up your records, your reports, and that sort of thing. It's not used anywhere across Africa, but the Gambia is using it.
Yes.
The Gambia is doing it. Exactly. And which is acclaimed by FIFA. Can you take us through?
I will tell you, to be honest, I have worked in almost all the different type of accounting sectors.
You come from the NGO.
Being government.
Yes.
I started with government.
Yes.
I was the first accountant for the National Sports Council, the NYSS. I work with medical health. I work with Emanix Consulting Firm.
Family planning.
I spent all my life in the NGO.
Yes.
Where, you know, the fund that we have cannot be equal to what you guys are having.
I know.
But I'll tell you the truth.
Yes.
Comparing the financial performance of the GFF, I can grade them higher.
FIFA always
than 75% of all those institutions I have worked before.
And to some extent, I understand that we were being, you know, singled out or been selected or been recommended to serve as trainers for other associations across here. Because of our excellent performance.
That alone,
it's a credit.
That credit alone tells you a lot about the financial performance of the GFF.
And GFF in general?
In general.
Okay.
Bibi, I'll give you an example.
Take us through this one.
Well, the software that we are using
is meant to generate
is the QuickBook that we are using. And yes, and we call it QuickBook Pro 2018. It's on network. And eventually, we're going to host it even on clouds. Yes.
You guys are going so digital, man.
We have our departmental objective. We want to enhance towards efficiency. We want to improve on yearly basis.
Okay.
Because when we can do that,
yes,
people will now believe in you. People will trust in you. Like example, give example.
Yes.
FIFA comes to audit any time. They have an open blank check. Everything is handed over to them. Not like go down there, no. They come, first day they arrive, everything is given to them.
You know, Ismail, sorry to cut you short. There was a time FIFA came here for their audit. And they came to my office to say, let me produce to them one of the publications we did concerning agreements for these COVID funds and that sort of thing. Because for me, initially, I thought audit is about finance and money and money and money and money. But on the whole, those things are very much involved. And lucky for me, I just took it out, show it to them.
Audit is more than the finance thing.
So they can go anywhere.
They can go anywhere.
And request for.
This is why, you know, if you remember those days, they even called some of the staff.
Yes. And had a one-on-one chat with them.
To find out what benefit they got, to ascertain those payments that were done. They reach out to some of the suppliers to ascertain whether they will go back to the Gambia Business Bureau website to see whether all these things are registered. They try to visit them, you know. They do their own findings.
So editing is far more than what we think.
When they arrive, when they come to us, our responsibility is only to facilitate. They want the bank statement.
Yes.
The governance people sign, take it to the bank send them the bank statement straight. They want to compare what the bank is giving them and what they found in our office.
This is interesting.
And they do
This is interesting.
100% sampling.
Yeah, those ladies who came here the other time,
Maybe.
they were so satisfied.
You think FIFA auditors will just come and rate Gambia A+, not once, not twice?
That is a reason. That is a reason.
You see,
your standing performance.
Maybe I can have my opinion about you.
Yes.
That does not change anything about you. That does not change the reality about you. And I always love sometimes to hear those opinions. Even if I don't align to them, I love to hear them because you know why? They make me strong, they encourage me, they motivate me to do more.
Could that be additional reason as to why you are making efforts for this software generation team?
Of course.
System?
Of course. Because we want.
You want to be #1 in the country?
Of course. We don't want to. We're not thinking of being #1 in the country. We're thinking of being #1 in the member association. Because that is the biggest element.
Yes.
And secondly,
yes.
I'm not only dreaming of only being in GFF. I've come from an institution to an institution to an institution until today, God brought me to GFF. I want to go on, higher heights on another. I want to adventure.
We will not leave you for now.
Yes, I also want to leave legacy. Remember when I said, you remember those days they called me concept?
NGO concept.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And it is paying dividend. It is paying dividend.
Obviously.
Collectively, it is paying dividend.
Today, clubs cannot deny, okay, they have not given me money. They have not sent my transport reform. When we said, okay, that's the copy we sent to the bank.
Yeah.
Can you look at this period? They go, they compare, and say, thank you. And
so they go to their account.
And I'm telling you, I love this platform.
Thank you so much.
Believe me or not, this is one of the platforms I was yearning for a very, very long time.
It's here.
Because you know why? When we communicate, we get closer to each other.
Sure.
3 years ago, I was distant from clubs. But when I took the responsibility of managing the transport reform and support of clubs on a weekly basis, I'm able to clear the doubts of clubs. Even some of them to explain to them.
You're very close to them.
Exactly. How they manage their funds.
Well, you are a club owner too.
Exactly.
So
I've played for Flemings. Maybe probably I was not a good player, but I played for Flemings. I played for First Division.
Let's do a formal wrap up. So you in a nutshell, you said the funds principally are coming from FIFA, and how you told us that they are coming in 2 installments, January to June, July to December, and principally again the operational cost and how you control these projects, but also support to national teams and the leagues, very, very important, and that we cannot miss it.
Exactly. These 2 activities sometimes will lead the GFF for us even to deviate from some of the plans. And obviously, it's part of management.
Yeah.
When you are planning, you have all indicators that, okay, I'm expecting to have this. But when you don't have it, you have to come back and review what you have actually planned.
So you also encourage that we can visit the Forward to program guide.
Of course.
And that would help us so much.
And even
it does not only apply to outside stakeholders.
Look, it's not even about visiting alone.
Yes.
But where you think you don't understand, come to us.
Our doors are open.
Look, maybe I have to respect your profession.
Yes. And I respect yours.
As a communicator and a marketer.
It's complementary.
Exactly. I have to respect somebody's profession. So this is why we are staff here to serve stakeholders. We did not say serve BB, serve the general secretary, serve the governor. We said we are here to serve the stakeholders. So
the football family.
Exactly. If they don't come for us to share ideas, they will be operating that way, and we the staff also will be left alone.
Yeah.
And this is why sometimes...
So we will never meet.
Exactly. And because we are not meeting, yes. I always see funny comments, I laugh.
I know.
You know.
I know. That's football for you.
Yeah, definitely.
You know. Thank you very much for coming to our platform. Viewers, that has been the manager for GFF Finances, Mr. Ismail Njai, has been our guest today in this broadcast. We are coming to you live from the Gambia Football Federation Football House here in Kanifing. It's part of our serialized engagements with football family members, stakeholders, but most importantly from the Gambia Football Federation Secretariat as part of our growth and development of the game. Tomorrow we will be with you at the National Technical Training Center with the youth and grassroots football manager Ibrahim Alaji Nyasi on the updates of the Pan-African School Football Tournament. So I've been your host, Bakari Bibal. Omar Toure has been my operator, and until we come your way again tomorrow, thank you very much for catching up us and viewing. Goodbye. Myself and Ismail Njai.